Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Educated Colin Snap channel. How you doing? So today I want to talk about Series 3.5 cards. Now you're gonna ask me, what are Series 3.5 cards? Well, I think these cards are cards that most players will tell you to get after you complete Series 3, but they have the token cost of a Series 5 card. Right, so I like 3.5. You're not going to get them at Series 3. You're probably going to get them after Series 3, but usually they're very expensive and they're just encouraged because they stay Series 5 cost the whole time. They're alternately called big bads, but I think that's just like a sneaky game designer way of making them just expensive cards. They're just cards you will get right after Series 3, Series 3.5. I think that makes way more sense than this random big bad title that they are trying to give in. So here we do have the examples of the three Series 3.5 cards that we have. We've got Thanos, Galactus, Kang. I had extra space, so I put two of them. But, essentially, these cards, right, after you complete Series 3, people are going to, okay, what should I get now? Most people will just tell you to get the big bads, get the Series 3.5 cards. So because their price never drops, it just logically makes sense to focus on these with your resources and acquiring these cards before you focus on getting other expensive cards. So anytime you have resources, you get these tokens, it's hard to argue to get other cards because these cards never drop in price. They're always going to be 6,000 for the foreseeable future. They have said that maybe it'll change, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I think their game plan is to just have this locked into 6,000 unless something changes with their marketing or anything like that. I don't see it really changing. So just for y'all information, Series 3 incomplete players gain around 4,000 tokens a month, while Series 3 complete players gain around 5,000. Now, that's without bundles. If you are using your gold to get tokens, to get bundles, you can definitely gain way more than 4,000 tokens. You can easily gain enough to gain one Series 5 card per month, right? But since we have three Series 5 cards, most players are going to take around 3 or so months to get these Series 5 cards. Now, the important thing to note is it's really hard to recommend other cards. Anytime someone's asking me to what card should they go for, they'll basically be like, I've completed Series 3. What card should I go for? And pretty much the only cards I can really recommend are, Thanos, Galactus, Kang. Like anything else, right now, Shuri's in a weird spot where you could argue that you could go for that one. But other than that, the card has to be literally the most broken card in the game for me to be like, oh yeah, that one also makes sense. But other than that, you're just really recommending those three cards to get first because it's not going to drop in price. Where things like Shuri, even Shuri is going to be moving down to Series 3 next month, where you're not going to have that with any of the other big bads, any of the other Series 3.5 cards. So it's just hard to encourage you to spend on anything that's not those particular cards. So I want to talk about why did the token shop change happen, right? They had they mentioned why they made the token shop more accessible to get Series 4, Series 5 cards. They cited that players were not excited about seeing new cards in the shop. 3 to 4 Series 5 cards get added into the game every month, but you almost never see those cards, and there's no one talking about them. There's not a lot of excitement about them. Some players or some viewers even get mad that you use those cards because they don't have access to it. So they saw that, they recognized that was a problem, and they wanted to do something about it, so they made this token shop change happen. Now, that is good. I do think the token shop overall, especially for people that have a lot of the important Series 3 cards, was good. I'm going to argue, like, if you're a new player, it's not good, but if you are not a new player, it's good. However, the problem is that there's still going to be new Series 3.5 cards added. So there's talks of a new card being added to the big bad pool. So first it was just Thanos and Galactus, then it was Kang, now it's High Evolutionary, and I definitely get the feeling that they're going to keep adding more. And that's where my problem lies. I actually don't really have an issue with the big bad idea or the Series 3.5 idea. The issue I have is that they're going to keep adding more Series 3.5 cards. Now, if these cards keep getting added every other month or every month, it's just going to limit the amount of options that players can use to spend their tokens. Because you're only able to get one Series 5 card per month without, spending a ton of money, essentially, it's really hard to have to say, oh, I'm not going to spend on the new big bad. I'm not going to spend on the Series 3.5 card. You pretty much have to do that. So the solution they were trying to solve, that people weren't excited about the new cards, you're not solving that because your resources are just being spent on these new big bads that you have to get, because it just doesn't make sense to go for anything else from a game progression standpoint. So I don't really have an issue with the Series 3.5s. I just have an issue with how many they are, and the current trajectory of how many they're going to put in the game. Because I don't think High Evolutionary is going to be the last one, and then there's not going to be any more expensive cards that you have to get. I think they're just going to keep adding a growing list of permanently Series 5 cards in the game. So I just hope that you just limit the amount of big bads added to the game. I don't really care that you have them, but if every time a month comes and there's a new big bad to purchase, and most players can only get one card, they're just going to go for the big bads. So you're just going to have a case where every other card is just not going to be very interesting unless the card is broken. If the card is broken, then players will find out and then they'll start spending their resources on it. But other than that, you're just always going to be looking at the big bad first before you look at anything else. And it just sucks because you're still going to have the same problem where most players, if they're asking me anytime, I'm making a tier list, which is why I'm making this video, I'm just looking at this tier list and I'm just like, yeah, okay, get the big bads. And then after you do that, then you can start thinking, because the big bads are autopilot. That's gonna take 3-4 months, and then anytime there's one being announced in the future, people just start saving up, right? So even the month before they come out, you can just be thinking, okay, I need to save up for this that's gonna come down the line so I can get it quickly. So it's just hard to really recommend players, especially now, to pick up anything other than these Series 3.5 cards until they've gotten all of them. And then once they got all of them, then you can start making these decisions. And if the amount they come out just equals the amount of resources that people have, then it's just hard to really have an interesting list of oh, this card's coming out, you can get it. But usually I'm thinking, okay, oh, maybe Howard the Duck or Iron Lad is pretty interesting, but oh wait, you should probably save for High Evolutionary. That's really the problem here. So hopefully they do something about that. I wanted to make a video just kind of addressing that. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Educated Colin Snap. Once you watch him, you won't go back. He'll teach you to marvel snap. Your skills will be